There is something that I can say to the people of France. My condolences, but I can say some words of a great man, mentally healthy and almost atheist. Marie-François Voltaire. He said, "Écrasez l'infâme." And he was referring to the Christ-psychotic infected imbeciles of the Catholic Church that were ruining everything, controlling everything in France. Psychotic people, because believing God is a mental illness. And deep inside, I'm certain such an intellectual like Voltaire believed that. So I can say again, écrasez l'infâme. And écrasez l'infâme, l'infâme, the infamous, means the disease of the brain that nobody seems to see, the HIV, religious psychosis. And in this case, Islam psychotics. This is the problem. Eradicate all of them. Get rid of all the religious, put the religious people in mental institutions. All the churches, the museums, put the psychopath into anybody that believes in God and all that. Take care of them in hospitals. Anybody that's religious, don't allow them in the country. You cannot enter if you're psychotic. You have to be in quarantine, you have to be cured first. That's the truth. Écrasez l'infâme. Hi friends, this is Kapun Pisa. You know, we had an attack in Paris by Islam psychotics from ISIS. You know, the religion of peace, the religious psychosis of peace. And Christ psychosis infected imbeciles that are all over Europe, all over the Americas, North, Central, and South America. They don't understand that religion is basically a neurological disorder, a form of a schizophrenia, because there's many schizophrenias. And in the moment that you accept bizarre metamagical beliefs as reality, this indicates a neural dysfunction. And of course, the brain is the organ we evolved, mutated primates use to reason, to think, to cogitate, to create ideas. And the problem is this religious psychosis expressed in Paris. Well, it happened during the Crusades. Over 200 years of the Christ psychosis invading the Islam psychosis lands and doing all kind of massacres, cutting their heads off, destroying their homes, stealing their lands and everything, decapitating these people, raping their women, imposing the zombie God belief, the Christian crap, on the people that believe in the Muslim crap, the Islamic crap as reality. One imaginary friend invading a land of people that believe in another imaginary friend, impose your imaginary friend on them. Killing people. And this is exactly what's happening today. It's all due to the Crusades. So why would you, in any civilized nation on the planet, and they're all infected with religious psychosis, all of them, why would you allow the freedom of religion? If religion is a schizophrenia, it's a mental disease, it's like a cancer of the brain. Why do you allow freedom of religion? It's like saying freedom of cancer, freedom of Ebola. So in the United States, as long as you say, well, you have to we have to cure all the symptoms and all that, so you have this type of Ebola, okay, you can come into the country, but because we have freedom of all kind of diseases. We have freedom of tuberculosis. We have freedom of the flu. We have freedom of headaches. We have freedom of schizophrenias. We have freedom of temporal epilepsy. We have freedom of dementia, and we have freedom of Alzheimer's. We have freedom of heart diseases of the many kinds. The problem is that these people are so stupid and ignorant. All the Christianity-infected imbeciles in all these nations, all Europe is infected, all South America is infected, all North America, Canada, Mexico, they're all infected with this Christian crap, this Bible crap. There is so many denominations of this Christian infection. It's a cancer of the brain. And they don't see it, and it's present in churches. So what's going to happen? These Christian pieces of garbage, deluded morons, and I'm sorry, I'm upset because I hate these idiots. And you know what I hate the most? Mentally healthy atheists. They don't see that religion is a mental illness, a cancer of the brain. That's the reason I get upset. Because I see it. Nobody seems to see it. No one seems to see it. Even including neurologists, atheists seem to see it. Religion is a mental illness. It's like a cancer. It's like an HIV of the brain. It's caused by a virus. Like a lot of mental disorders, schizophrenia and all that are caused all by Borna virus, by a lot of viruses. They cause all that. Microbes and viruses make you think differently. And that's a scientific fact. You don't realize that you allow, it's like allowing people with tuberculosis and all that, and you treat the symptoms, and then you are completely wondering why this school that is full of people with tuberculosis, with very contagious diseases and Ebola, that they are treating the symptoms, and all of a sudden you wonder why they're infecting everybody. Then you invite people to your house that are infected with tuberculosis, and you cure the symptoms, and then you allow them because you're tolerant of all infections, and then they come around, and all of a sudden you complain because everybody has Ebola in your house. Same thing with religion. You cannot just, in Paris, there's idiots over there, there's all Christianity-infected imbeciles, like the United States. You cannot allow Islam psychotics, like any Christian psychotic, you treat it as a disease. So you cannot allow this Islam idiot doing all these prayers and all that crap. They're psychotic people. Don't allow them in your country. But also remove all the churches. You say anybody that is religious, you do not accept them in your country. They have to be treated in a mental hospital first. That's what they don't see it. And all of a sudden the Islamic people, oh yeah, you have a synagogue built here and synagogue built there, and you have a mosque built there and mosque built there, but all of a sudden some idiots from ISIS come around and start blowing people up. They will say, oh, they're radicalized. No, when you have a disease or you have a mental illness or believe in God and crap like that, like a virus at the beginning, it is dormant. If you're pious and you believe in that, it's dormant. All of a sudden you become schizophrenic. It's because all of a sudden you believe in the imaginary friends telling you what to do, and you kill yourself. You commit, you have suicide bombers and all that stuff, killing for everybody. This is exactly what's happening in Paris with Islam psychotic. Islam is a disease. There's 73 sects. It's like having schizophrenias. There are many schizophrenias. It's like having all these diseases. There are many types. It's like a flu virus. It changes. It changes all the time. It evolves and changes. Religion is the same thing. You have Methodists, and you have Baptists, and you have Mormons, and you have Catholic crap in many sects, and you have all these idiots. They all believe in the same crap. They're all psychotic, disgustingly mentally ill people that should be treated in hospitals. And not unless you define religion as a brain virus, as a disgusting disease, it's like a mental illness, a virus of the brain, we will have this stuff happening all over the world. All over the world, because people don't see it. And you accept it. Because it's not full-blown. You accept the Muslims come around and pray and build a synagogue and all that stuff. Well, they can become full-blown. Same thing like, it's the same thing. People don't realize the religious beliefs are a mental illness. And it's spread in churches, mosques, and synagogues. And there are many variations of this strain. So it's disgusting. So there it is. I'm Caput Piso, presenting facts. The brain is the creator of of thoughts. When the brain is sick, it can only produce sick, virulent, disgusting thoughts, bad thinking, delusions, and crap like that. That is the problem. When you eliminate the cancer of the brain, which is religious, of believing God and crap like that, then humanity could survive. We will have these idiots in there. We'll be all put in mental institutions, all of them, and treated.
Look at this psychotic infected imbecile talking to imaginary friends. It's ridiculous. They are the cause of all the problems. Look at the Inquisition. They were in the Inquisitors. They torture the people. They torture the Arabs. They torture the Muslims. They torture the infidel. And they were doing that. During the Crusades, they were cutting the heads of, catapulting the heads of the infidel over the walls of cities, of the Muslims and Jews and everyone. Look at this. This is a fact. And these people are psychotic. And in the American West, the Indians were enslaved. They were the Trail of Tears. And all because of disease of the brain. And everything has to do with sex and the pleasure of orgasm. That is a sin to these imbeciles. Even they fight and they burn each other.
Why don't the French take advantage and imitate and copy the greatest man that ever lived, in my humble opinion? A mentally healthy, an atheist, a towering intellect, Napoleon Bonaparte, a consul. After Voltaire said que la femme, the psychotic infected imbecile to the Catholic Church, Christianity is a mental illness, and Napoleon truly crushed them with gusto. The man was absolutely brilliant. He took the savants to Egypt. He wanted to learn. He wanted to see what the civilization was. He was responsible for uncovering the secrets of the magnificent Egyptian empire that lay buried thanks to the psychotic infected imbecile psychotics, ignoramuses, psychopath, that bury the whole Egyptian civilization under the constant ignorance and burning books and burning scientists in the 5th century. Napoleon unearthed that. And you know what he did, this fantastic, amazing man? He took a dump on the psychotic infected imbeciles of the Vatican, the Pope. Pius VII, a moron. They already have crushed Pius VI. And actually they took all the treasures, a lot of treasures of the Vatican, they melted the whole thing, the troops, and then they actually took all his tiara, his triple crown, they took it all and melted and all the use of that. Well, the next pope was Pius VII. Napoleon decided that he was going to, he imitated Julius Caesar, the Jesus Christ. Then Napoleon decided that he was going to be building the crown, control everything. 1804. He chose, of course, Notre Dame de Paris. Beautiful place. And the Pius VII, the demented idiot Pope, was invited. He thought he was going to crown Napoleon, like all the popes crown all the heads of Europe, the divine right of kings, and he crowns them because of some Jesus and crowns them, all of them. Well, no Napoleon. Napoleon dissolved the Holy Roman Empire. He was the one that eliminated that. And on top of that, he just took a dump on the Pope, on Pius VII, because when he went to Notre Dame, he made a piece of garbage, psychotic, imbecile, that raped the brain of children with ignorance, and he made him get behind him. And he came around and he crowned himself and he crowned Josephine. And from that time, all the Christianity-infected nations, they hated him. Especially England, that piece of garbage. And the King of England is the head of the church also. The Protestant piece of garbage, English, are the cause of all the problems. The one that made Iraq and all this and created all this garbage. And anyway, he Napoleon was so amazing that thanks to him, we have all this discovery of the gypsy. We know what the hieroglyphs are like. The amazing man. And of course, then Napoleon was crowned. He crowned himself, and he crowned Josephine. And he got all the fury. Everybody hated him. All the Christian imbeciles, which ended up killing him. Ended up getting rid of him. And he was poisoned. It's supposed to be poisoned with arsenic and wine and all that stuff in exile in Santa Elena. This great man. So there you have it. So you have another Napoleon. Yeah, amazing man. Crushed the infamous. As you can see, this is the problem. There shouldn't be a freedom of disease, the cancer of the brain like schizophrenias, of God belief, because that's what it is. And in the country, in any nation, it should be ruled by mentally healthy, atheists, which are free of cancers of God belief, schizophrenias, and temporal lobe epilepsy. Then we have, they are highly intellectual, and we have all the technology. And the technology is created by mentally healthy, in other words, atheists, scientists, people that have free thinkers, that have gathered information and knowledge for millennia, for thousands of years, despite being killed and persecuted by religious, demented, schizophrenic psychopaths that believe in the imaginary friends. See, this is the problem. So when you are in France and you have all these churches in there, you have this imbecile priest saying mass for people that are killed. What is the mass? This is the cause of the problem. This Christian crap is the cause of all this screwed up thing. They're the ones that invaded the Islamic lands, and with all the thing cutting the people's heads for 200 years. The Crusaders were the one that invaded, causing all kind of mayhem. Look at Nazi Germany. All Christianity infected Europe. They loved Christian Hitler because Christian Hitler decided to kill all the Christ killers, the so-called Jews. So everybody loved Christian Hitler. The KKK, they hate blacks because they're the one that killed Christ, because the Bible says so, that blacks are bad. And it's all over. White supremacy. They're all Christianity infected imbeciles. So this is the problem. And you think the Islams are bad? The Islam psychotics are bad? No, it's another disease. What do you prefer? You prefer schizophrenia, paranoid schizophrenia? You prefer cancer of the liver, or cancer of the lungs, or you prefer terminally ill because you have a tumor in the hippocampus, inoperable, or because you have all of a sudden you have Alzheimer's and your brain is being destroyed by viruses. Would you prefer a virus that attacks your heart and it's going to shorten your life because of this virus that attacks your heart muscles, and so what kind of a disease you want? The worst is believing God. This is the problem, because in the moment that it infects your brain, you start thinking crazy stuff and you're killing people. You kill children in school with a gun. You start shooting people and kill people. Or you become like Nazi, like Hitler, Christ-psychotic infected Hitler, with a beautiful Christ-psychotic infected Europe that love Hitler and detest the Jews, which everybody hates the Jews today. All the Christian nations, they are hypocrites. They all hate the Jews today because they killed Christ. And the Jews are the most intelligent and bright people on the planet. The majority are mentally healthy, atheists. The reason they're so intelligent. You see the problem. And this happened in Paris. There's a stupid, imbecile priest saying mass. You know what prayers are? Prayers are utterances of people making mental telepathy, communication with the imaginary friends. That's what prayers are. So these people in church doing all these masses in this 14th, 15th century cathedrals, the cathedrals were placed for this ignorant, demented, Christianity infected people of the 12th century and 13th century, but they did have an excuse because it's the 12th century. It's not the 21st century. So they have all these prayers and there's a ritual to imaginary friends called the Mass and the incense and the angels and the prayers in this cathedrals. And we have these imbeciles, anachronistic pieces of garbage, disgusting priests, bishops and all of the Catholic Church, the disgusting imbeciles, the cancer of the brain, saying prayers for people that I know, people that are dead in France are going to be rotting. We are evolved mutated primates. We rot, we decompose. That's the life after death we'll get, you imbeciles. And this is the biggest problem. You take all these priests, you close all the churches, turn all of them into museums, many in Europe are already, and then put the priests and the cardinals and the bishops and all the rest into asylums, into mental institutions to fix their brains. And allow no one that comes into Europe or any country that is religious to let into the country. No, you don't have freedom of religion because it's like freedom of schizophrenia and mental disorders. You have atheist nations, mentally healthy atheist nations are the control nation, and you teach the kids science and everything. And then everything else is history and mythology and all that stuff, which includes Islam, all the Christian versions, all the Judaism versions, everything else. That is fairy mythology, historical mythology. All this so-called religion is mythology. That's all. But do not allow these people to be infecting the brain of children. Don't allow anybody that has religion to enter the country. None. But then you have to get rid of the churches and the imbeciles that don't pay any taxes in all over Europe, the Christians. And hey, you have to be in quarantine. In other words, if you are a Muslim, all that, you have all this mosque and all that in France and all that, well, you have to go through a training. You have to be deconditioned, deprogramming your brain, and you have to get rid of all that. You cannot practice this hocus pocus nonsense because you are sick. And they should do it, all religions should be doing. So you have to start at home, getting rid of all the churches and all the Christians or anybody of religion, people of faith, or people of schizophrenia, and you should be retrain, deprogram in your brain, and then you can allow to be in the country. And you're okay. But if you start practicing your religious psychosis, you're put in jail. That's what they ought to be done. And anybody that comes into the country, if you're religious, you cannot enter the country. It's just like if you have HIV or if you have cancer, they won't let you in because you infect everybody else. No, thank you. This is the only way we can solve the problems in today's world, with all this infection of the HIV of the brain, which is religion. Religion is a disease, it's a cancer. It's one of the schizophrenias. It's no different than any other disease of neurological disorder because they accept imaginary friends to be reality and to be fact, just like schizophrenia and temporal lobe epilepsy do. Let's keep up the facts, friends. You know, science, neurology, study it.
Yeah. Yes. Whether I would have pulled the trigger or not, I can't say. Probably.
Special Squad 4A are the killers at Bobby Yar. These murderers are shoemakers, bakers, craftsmen, and actors. And they do not refuse to commit mass murder.
There were a lot of men who reported sick. Every day over 30 of them would march up, sometimes as many as 50 or 60 who wanted to report sick.
Murder leaves its mark on those involved.
How could an educated person be so brutal?
Because mental illness does not discriminate. And the worst mental illness, the cancer, the HIV of the neural array, is believing God, faith, spirituality, psychosis. It's one of the schizophrenias, is schizophrenia combined with temporal lobe epilepsy, depression, bipolar disorder, mania, etc., etc. and the kids are conditioned since you're young, when you're born into a Christ psychosis infected, or any religious psychosis, you adopt the religion of your parents, and your brain is weak. You tend to believe in these imaginary friends that give you dopamine. So you are, just like any schizophrenic is, you want these imaginary friends. You want to know that. It is exactly what happens. And then you become a psychopath. Happens in all religions. That's the reason Nazi Germany, all Christians, and the Nazis just hated the Jews because of Christianity, infecting their brains for, they've been taking friends for 1700 years. And the Islam psychotics is a reaction, and they're also crazy people. They're all psychotic. And they want to give their lives for their beliefs. Who is going to kill themselves wearing explosive vest to commit these acts? Because they truly believe they're going to be and reach the afterlife. It happens in all religions. It's been happening forever. And the same thing happened in Nazi Germany. The Nazis, they will give their life for their savior, the representative of zombie Jesus on earth that was actually the Führer, was Adolf Hitler. They actually swear allegiance to the Führer, to Adolf Hitler, the savior, the reincarnation of Jesus Christ. That was it, and that was the thing. So that's the reason it happens. So religion is a very dangerous mental illness. And you don't see it. It's like an HIV of the brain, and it lays dormant. You don't detect it. It's like HIV/AIDS, the same thing. People that are HIV positive, the same thing. They appear very healthy, but they have the virus inside. They can become full-blown, and they die. The same thing in religion. It's very normal. They go to church, or they go to mosque, or they go to synagogue, and they act all that, but they believe in imaginary friend. They have the virus. And all of a sudden, they might react against it. And the moronic, stupid, Christ-psychotic infected Americans, the idiots, they say they're being radicalized. It's not radicalized. All religions are like that. There's a sickness. It's a cancer. And they might appear okay, but you never know when it's going to explode. They're going to become full-blown. No, radicalized, full-blown. It's like having people infected with temporal lobe epilepsy, schizophrenia, that you don't even notice they have the disease. They come all of a sudden, something might trigger it, and there's your epilepsy, there's your psychopathy, and then you're shooting children in schools and killing people with, going bananas. That's what happens. It happens in all religious psychosis. They lay dormant. And this is what's happening. We are our brains. Here, this is the most powerful tool there is. You can commit all kind of beautiful things of kindness and great things for humanity, but also you have the darker side that can be psychopath. You can blow up, you can use an atomic weapon and you destroy things. Look at Kim Jong-il and a lot of dictators. You can commit some heinous criminal. Look at the Christian Hitler and all these people. Look at the Crusaders. Look at the popes, it's disgusting people. All of them, in every religious psychosis. You have Buddhism, Hinduism psychosis, and the different variations, the Christ psychosis, different variations, the Protestant killing, the Catholic with their version, the Mormons against the other Indians, and the Indians against... I mean, it's all a psychosis. It's very, very dangerous. I hope you understand that. It's a cancer, the HIV of the brain in our midst that nobody sees. You have to eliminate religious psychosis if we are to survive as a species. That's the problem of it all. Pace Dios.